Okay. All right. So this is gonna be the first video that I make since since the one about everything that had happened and the fact that she keeps waking me up like at 3, 4 in the morning because that's when she's going to, do it in my life. But on so I've been planning to leave New York to come back to Texas, go back to Texas. But this is when I realized how sick this little game is. Um, on Thursday, yeah, on Thursday night, I hadn't slept at home. I was at the hospital, and then I went home, and then so I got home and told the cab driver to wait because I'm gonna go upstairs to go get some stuff and come back down. So I go upstairs. The cab driver take me to the store. Mind you, it's driving from the hospital to my apartment. Where I told you like she could whatever she's trying to pull out, she could attach like a string from there, like a spirit, from the engine of whatever to whatever she's trying to pull out. So the entire time the car is driving, like she's pulling, the thing is pulling out. And so the cab driver takes me to the store, and like I'm almost wobbling in the store. So I'm like, okay, I tell him that, go back. I mean, he could go. Then I'll walk back to my apartment. And when I start walking back to my apartment, that's when I realized, okay, you've really fucked up because the street, ever since I started talking about going back to Texas, had become like laced. Like everywhere I walked on Central Avenue, like close to my apartment, I would start picking up more spirits. And um, that's when I realized, oh my God, I should have just like let him wait for me and then, you know, drive back to the apartment. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna walk on a different avenue, like along the train tracks. And that's when I realized how sick this thing is. I start walking like really fast, down that block down, like if you know Lawrence, like in Cedarhurst, like if you Google it, you could see I could walk on Central Avenue or you could walk along the train tracks. Um, it's like a straight path down from Cedarhurst down to Lawrence. So I'm doing that. Like I'm up by Woodmere and going down to Cedarhurst into Lawrence. There's nobody down there. But this one kid who was running, all of a sudden I see this black car. I mean, the car just came down the block, right? Comes down the block like this. And, like it means business, like black top window, everything. Comes down the block, right where it was. And I'm like, go ahead, because I don't want to cross. Boom. Whoever is in the car, like, I get hit with like a package of whatever spirits. I'm like, this is so crazy. So I start walking, like, now I'm going real fast. Here comes another car. This time it's a minivan. Again, I'm hit. And then I'm like, that's when I was like, this is some kind of a sick tool. How many people is involved in this little sick game that these people are playing? So I come around I get off that street, and I was gonna go back down to Central. Then I saw the cab driver. I had taken him in a cab like a couple of days before, and I was like, I got in, and he drove me to the apartment, and I went upstairs, threw all my stuff because I had my stuff packed before, but this is when it gets really messed up. Went upstairs, just start grabbing my stuff because they were already in bags. I know I'm gonna leave, and in my building, a little building that I live in Lawrence, I mean, there's only two apartments on the second floor, and the man and the woman, right, who lives up there, I've seen him maybe 3 times. Saw him the first night, he said hi. Another time I saw him, he said, we never had a conversation. He never came in the hall, never said anything to me, ever. But this one thing happened. Okay, so there's two stackable uh, washer and dryer in the hallway. And for like a week, this woman had like this, you know, off color, dirty white underwear on my machine, like on my machine for like over a week, 7 days when she was washing. And I know that she's coming back and forth, so she sees it. So I'm like, is she trying to tell me something? And I basically didn't say anything to her. I just stopped washing my clothes in the washing machine because whatever little game that was about, I'm not even gonna play with you because you see your dirty underwear on the machine, on my machine, and we don't even share machines. So I didn't say nothing. Went upstairs, grab my stuff. As soon as I throw, this is when I know they all communicate by cell phone because he had his cell phone in his hand. As soon as I throw my stuff in the hallway, I threw 3 bags in the hall and I'm start grabbing stuff because I'm leaving. You know, she knows now the woman, you know, the one who's giving them commands to go here, there, wherever. Now they know, okay, I'm leaving. I'm actually going because I said to the cab driver, you know, take me to the airport. So I go upstairs. As soon as I throw my 3 bags in the hallway, here he comes, opens his door to start a conversation. This man has never spoken to me before. I mean, never had a conversation with me before. So where are you going on this day when I'm leaving? How are you coming into the hallway to come have a conversation with me? You know, as far as I've seen him, it's just on the pass. Hi, bye. I think I saw him 3 times. On this fateful day when I'm grabbing my bags and he's there, he's there. When I'm home, he's there, he's not in the hallway. This fateful day when I'm leaving, here he comes, starting up a conversation. You know, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, go back into your apartment. You know, but he needs to look at me to release whatever he needs to release on me. So grab my stuff, goes to the airport, and then that's when shit just start breaking loose because that's when she really starts working. You know, because all of this I could feel it in my head. That's when she really starts working. You know, because I'm not supposed to leave New York. I'm not supposed to come back to Texas because that's where I was sent to begin with. You know, that's where I was gonna get help. So the entire time she is just doing everything, and that's when I realized, oh my God, all this time when I'm sitting there in Lawrence, living in Lawrence, and like, okay, where is this? How many of these people are involved in this sick little game? Okay, at the airport, still getting hit, you know. And here's one of the sickest things that happened at the airport. So my cell phone, when my cell phone became like charged with electricity, I had taken the, what's that thing called? What's that thing in the back called? Not a chip. That little thing that's in the cell phone to make it work. I had taken it out and put it in try to put it in a different cell phone, but it didn't work because it was a different provider. And I'm at the airport. There's no, yeah, SIM card. There's no SIM card in the phone. Yes, it's ringing. Because remember I said that was one of the way she sends whatever she's sending to me, the demons. There's no SIM card in my cell phone and the cell phone is ringing. How is that even possible? So I of course I don't pick it up, but when I go, the cell phone was on my Bible. When I go touch the Bible, take the Bible out, whatever was sent went straight into my head. So I'm at the airport, I'm trying to leave, and that's when I realized 1, 2, 3 people at the airport. All of a sudden, I'm in JetBlue and I'm getting hit all over the place. Like, where is this stuff coming from? You know, who's doing this? Man, ended up getting off the flight. Didn't even, I was gonna go check in. Didn't check in because something had gone into my head, like the side of my head, and it just no, it's really taking it out. I'm like, it's over. So I didn't get on the flight, and I should have gotten on that flight because when I stayed in New York Friday night, once I came back out and was like leaving JFK, I'm telling you, heaven is gonna be so empty. How can so many people be in this one thing, in this one group? Came out, I don't know because like now it's not strong. I can't tell where it's coming from, but I'm getting hit. Wherever I go, I'm picking up stuff. All right, so I'm like, it's it's late. I'm not going back to Lawrence. So I took the train because all my stuff already left, on the plane. All my luggage already left on the plane. I just had my briefcase. So I took the train and I went to like this little, it's like a pizza store or whatever they had, whatever. I'm in there. And because it's freezing outside, and all of a sudden I can't get a cab. And I didn't even know where I was going to take the cab to. Anyway, so I'm sitting there talking to the dude, and I can't use a cell phone, and he's calling someone for me. But I'm in there, and somebody came in. Mind you, when I went in, it was pretty calm. There was nothing really happening. When I went in there for a little while, people come, they leave. One particular guy comes in. Boom. I'm hit. And when I was there, for however long I was there, about maybe four or five people came in. And I got hit. So I'm like, this thing has created a monster who can command these idiots, because that's what they are, idiots. So wherever I am, go release whatever she needs onto me so she could use it to kill me, further use to kill me. But no, wait, it's gonna get even more messed up. So I was like, okay, I need to go to church. I need to go to church. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up to the hospital because I'm getting hit. I mean, really hit. I mean, just getting tore up. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Mount Vernon Hospital because I'm gonna go to church Saturday morning. So maybe close to the hospital. So I leave Queens and go up to Mount Vernon. Took a cab up to Mount Vernon. And when I got up to Mount Vernon Hospital, I had walked out because it's freezing. I had walked outside, walked over to the emergency room. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go in. Let me go see if there's a store that's open. And plus, at the same time, I'm praying. I'm praying at the same time. So I'll go around the corner and I go pray, and I'm standing in the vestibule of a building and I'm praying. And the thing that's trying to take whatever it is going. But then a bunch of kids, like not kids, but they're like in their 20s, like you could tell a party had just ended. And I can't tell you which one. And then I was like, oh my God, how can even someone had released something on me? I don't know which one, because it was maybe a group of maybe 7 or 8 of them. And I said, this is just, even because I wasn't expecting it in a black neighborhood, even up in Mount Vernon, all right? So, okay, I was like, okay, let me go back up to the emergency room, to the hospital. By the time I got back up to the emergency room, up to the hospital, that joint was so laced. I was like, oh my God. I said I was just up here. I wasn't picking up anything before. So how come now when I come up here, stuff is just attaching and attaching and attaching? Man, I go around to go to the emergency room, and then I saw the culprit. This little raggedy asshole. This dude who looks like, he's an instrument for the devil to begin with. Just walks past me and he laughs and he keeps it moving. All right, so I'm like, okay, this place is full. So there's no way I'm going to the emergency room. So I turn around and I go stand at the front of the hospital. If you know how Mount Vernon Hospital, how it's set up, that front entrance where, it's open during the day. So I'm just standing there. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? Because church doesn't start for hours. So standing there, it's freezing. This car comes screeching up. And where I'm standing, you have to make a left to get into the front entrance, or you could keep going and you go around to the emergency room. He was gonna keep going, but then he spots me, make the left, and starts to come over where I am. So I'm like, oh shit, this dude is specifically for me, this car, because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody out. So I start to walk away, and he turns and he goes around the emergency room. I keep walking a couple of blocks, like I'm trying to get away from him. This dude was chasing me all through those blocks. All through those blocks at 4 o'clock in the morning, just to put whatever or leave whatever. Because like I said, he doesn't have to touch me. All he have to do is just look at me. So 4 a.m. in the morning, this dude is chasing me. So I'm walking all the way, all over like Mount Vernon Hospital area, trying to get away from him. Went down by like the Popeyes. I went down by the supermarket. The entire streets, everything was by then just laced. Laced. Mind you, this is some place that I used to walk all the time and nothing used to happen. Laced. Okay. So I go to church. And Pastor Bailey prayed, put his hand on my head, prayed, and all that stuff that I had picked up from Friday night. No, yeah, from Friday night. No, Thursday night, Friday night, and into Saturday morning. He put his hand on my head, prayed. The things you could, like if once he put his hand on my head and he prayed, everything just became useless. I could still feel it in my head, but it wasn't. They weren't working anymore. Like they were completely useless. He prayed, and they were useless. So leave church. Saturday, and the most unexpected thing. I went up to White Plains Road in the Bronx, and was there and at 241st Street. Took a cab to 241st Street and then took a cab from 241st to Gun Hill because I went to go see Pastor Jerry. And I don't know how that man has his church like that and doesn't know, like, an area where his church is. I picked up some of the worst things ever. So I go back up to 241st Street, and this is when it gets really funny. I didn't even know Jamaican people would be doing that with their lives, with their eternity. I'm at 241st Street, I start getting hit. Start picking up stuff. I'm like, okay, this wasn't happening when I was up here like a couple hours before. What's going on now? I'm picking up stuff. So I take a cab. No, I walk actually down to 234th, down to this shop where my dad used to hang out at. Because like at this point I need to get some help. And I go in there. I'm telling you, sometimes it's better not to even ask for help, because the dude that I asked for help, I don't know why people have stuff on their phone. He takes out his phone to dial something, to look something up for me. Whatever he has on his cell phone, remember I told you there's something on me that drags any kind of spirits. Whatever he has on his cell phone gets drags into me. Whatever is on him gets drags into me. The guys are, I'm like, oh, shit. I might as well have stayed at 241st and not gone anywhere. Because in this little spot, I'm just dragging stuff off everybody, and everybody for some reason has something on their cell phone to protect their business or protect their cell phone. So I'm going in the store, because I'm trying to get in to call my mom. In the store, like, I don't know why, like there's stuff in the store, just pulling off things. But this is when it gets funny. This dude comes in, this tall dude, and he releases something. He releases something on me. I was like, you asshole, you're one of them. Because the people in the store was trying to help me. Because at that point I wasn't speaking again. I still wasn't speaking. I had stopped speaking since Thursday. Wasn't speaking. And it's like, oh shit, he's one of them. So I come out. By that time I'm just filled with stuff. Completely filled. So I come out the store, and all of a sudden everything is hazy. Like everything has like a sheen over it. Like my eyes have like a sheen over it. Like didn't look clear anymore. It's like, oh my God, it's starting to happen. This is it. So I take a cab to my uncle's house, and was there, expecting it to happen. But then nothing is happening. I'm just sitting there talking, because at that time I started talking, like, why am I keeping quiet now? So I started talking, and around 7:30 or 7, this kid comes, this Hispanic kid, like he's gonna fix something, and I'm hit again. Like more stuff is released, because if she doesn't have, think about it like a car. Like I'm the thing that she has on me is a car, right? An engine. It doesn't work without gas. So someone has to come into my vicinity to release the gas, to deliver the gas. That's how it works. If I don't come in contact with one of them to release the fuel for her to use, I'm good. So I'm at the house, nothing is happening. This kid comes in and said, I'm like, who's that? Because I know that I just got hit. So my cousin said that the appointment was scheduled the day before. And he was supposed to be there between 5 and 9 anyways. So I was like, okay. It was just like when I was setting up Optimum. If I had an appointment at Optimum, she's gonna just put out a call. Who works at Optimum? Who within the group works at Optimum and is in Lawrence? Because I have an appointment coming up. So just as in this case, who has any connections to my uncle's address? With this appointment that's coming up. Boom, whoever has the appointment is the one that shows up. So the kid comes, I get hit. All right, I'm there until later that evening, when the most fucked up thing ever happened. And I'm not even going to go into that because, yeah. And then next morning, I wake up my cousin, and then we leave, go to church. I'm like, okay, I'm not going back to JFK, I'm going to LaGuardia. Go to LaGuardia. And this is when I said heaven is going to be empty as fuck. I go to LaGuardia, and the flight, I was going to catch the 3 o'clock flight. But I had left my ID in my cousin's car. So, the lady that was helping me book the ticket, she was helping me book the ticket, but I had left the ID in the car. So I run back, get the ID, come back. By the time I come back, she's gone. But even before that, when I went to go book the ticket, it was her and this other girl who was a member. I could tell she was a member. So come back to book the ticket. She's gone. I realized, of course she's gone, because first of all, she wasn't one of them, and she's trying to help me get out of New York, because I didn't have the ID. So she's gone. I come back. The woman that's helping me now, she's being difficult. And in the meantime, the one next to her, this is a different white girl, she's releasing stuff on me. Every time she looks, she releases. And I'm getting hit. So the point, I stopped. I was like, okay, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing in this sick little game that you're playing. I know what you're doing, so you could just stop it right now. And she didn't even say anything, right? All they did was just look. So I leave from there, go over to the other side, where the first Hispanic girl was, where I knew it was her doing it. So I'm like, I need to get on this flight. Now a black girl started helping me. But she already knew she was one of them. So when I walked up to American Airlines, I knew it was a Hispanic girl, the black girl, and then the white girl, and the white supervisor. Boom, 4. So the black girl is helping me, and I'm like, I need to get on the 2:59 flight, the 3 o'clock flight. So she's talking to somebody, right? She calls somebody, and then the person hangs up. And then I think she makes another call, because she's still talking to somebody, and she shakes her head, and then she prints me out a ticket. She prints me out a ticket for the 3:20. I was like, no, I don't want 3:20. Because I know whoever she's talking to just gave her instructions to put me on the 3:20, because they're gonna put someone on the 3:20 with me to, really fuck me up for 4 hours on that flight, 3 or 4 hours on that flight. So I'm like, I'm not getting on that. I'm trying to get out of New York, and these people are trying to hold me there. Right? So I don't get on the 3:20. I'm like, fuck no. Or no, I don't get on the 4 o'clock. It was the 4 o'clock flight that she booked me on. Started boarding at 3:20, 3:30. I don't get on, and lo and behold, just by the way they react when I do certain things, someone was on that plane to load me up. I don't get on the 5. I get on the 5:45. As soon as I get on the 5:45 and I sit down, I start getting hit. When I say getting hit, stuff is attaching and I'm feeling it. So I leave, I get off the 5:45, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the 6:30. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Man, on the 6:30, remember, this is a jet plane engine. Remember I said that she could attach from the engine of whatever like vehicle or whatever is running to the whatever she's trying to pull out. As soon as that thing took off down the runway, she attached into my head and she just started pulling. The entire time, those 3 hours, I mean, she's tearing and she's pulling and she's just beating, beating that in my head, just beating whatever she's trying to take out, just beating it up. Okay, the plane lands, and I was gonna go back to where I was staying before, and then that's when the thing went off. I was like, okay, I changed to a different address. Came the night. It was fine. It was fine when I came Sunday night. Monday morning, yesterday morning, I went outside because there's a couple stores over. Had to go to T-Mobile to go get because I still didn't have a cell phone. So to go get a cell phone when I'm there, as soon as I came outside, this Hispanic man drove up, started getting hit in the store. So I left the store because I just needed to charge the phone just needed to charge the phone, and then I left because I wasn't even gonna get the SIM card anymore. I was like, I need the SIM card. So I had to go back in there. When I went back in that store, the amount of garbage that I picked up in that store, I don't know if it was the store owner, I don't know if it was a Hispanic dude, because the store, I don't know, you can't even tell anymore because he was Asian. So I'm thinking, okay, well, but I can't tell anymore, but I wasn't expecting so much Jamaican people in White Plains Road to be in this damn nonsense. It's like, how can you play just, what kind of power do you think you have? You just give yourself away just like that, just to have some ridiculous power to put stuff on food or put stuff on people. And that's another thing in my uncle's house. Oh my God. My cousin came in. This dude, he had at least 3 things on him that was pulled on to me. My uncle, he had a couple. The only one that didn't really have anything was my other cousin, the one that I was talking to a lot. I'm like, who is putting these things onto these people? So yeah, so I had stopped talking, and yesterday Monday, still not talking, and still had to miss my appointment with the Potter's house because I'm not gonna talk, and I wasn't talking. But whatever is coming out is really coming out, and the only way that she can do it is with my hand motions. Remember I said somebody's not supposed to be able to kill you. So since she can't do it herself, this is what I realized what she started to do when I was at the airport. Remember, since last Thursday, she started using my voice to call it out. Take my voice and use my voice. So I stopped speaking because of that. But I noticed when I was in the bathroom at the airport, I was doing something with my hand. I was wrapping something up with my hand. And that's when I realized whatever I was doing with my hand, she's using my hand movements to wrap this thing up and move this thing along. So yesterday, I went to go put on my sweatshirt. And I just yanked this sweatshirt. When I put it on, I yanked it down on my head. And that motion, she took that motion and she used it to hit the thing, like slap the life out of it. Because it's thinking it's like me hitting myself. Like the only person that can hurt it, the only person that could take it out is myself. So when I yanked my hand down, she put it on it. Basically, whatever I'm doing with my hands, like if I was supposed to hit this table right now, it would hit it, and it'll think it's me doing it. So all of yesterday, she's tearing, she's pulling, she's taking it out. It won't come out. So in the evening, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have something to eat. But